Hello, welcome to Trend Settings episode 80. The big 80. We made it. All the cameras are recording.
Hopefully.
Well, the live stream is working. It's a little bit delayed, but that's just the NBN, right? Now, today, my name is Ali.
My name is Chris.
I'm Jono.
And I'm Ev.
We're talking weird stuff in Kosovo, real things, and Uber, which is really sad, and tech and science stuff with Facebook, because Facebook takes all your data and then lets other people take it.
Tosses.
And then, oh, wow, connection. Pre-show. Now. And then entertainment with men in black things. But they're not all men and they're not all black.
Wow.
Now, let's get back to the real stuff.
All right.
This is Trend Settings, where we go through what's hot, what's trending every week. First up, we got the weirdness
All
with
right.
the Christmas.
So, you guys may have heard this story. Have you heard of a school called Trinity Grammar School?
Yeah.
Vaguely.
It's in...
Not in Melbourne. I've heard of the one here.
Yeah, me too. But apparently there's one in Melbourne.
Oh, okay.
Like a franchise.
Sure.
Yeah.
A campus, I would say. I believe so. And just when you thought the concho was over, they're bringing it back. So, let me catch you up.
I didn't even know it was happening.
Let me catch you up, John. I know you're a bit behind on
I
times.
am.
So 2 whole weeks ago, if you can think back then, what were you doing? Anyway, so they got a headmaster, they got deputy headmaster, his name is Rohan Brown. Brownie.
Rohan or Rowan?
Rowan.
No, it could be Rohan.
Could be Rohan.
I know a Rohan.
Okay.
Yeah.
His actual name is Rohan
Look,
Brown.
his name is Brownie,
It's
okay?
Okay, Brownie.
Wow.
So Brownie got the sack from his job. He's been working at this school for 30 years, and he works there no longer. Because he gave a student an unsolicited haircut.
Wait.
Photo day. Your hair's too long, mate. Doesn't suit our dress code. Come here. Snip, snip. He got fired. Brownie's gone.
Right.
Oh.
Was the student like upset about it?
Not really.
Yeah, right.
So it's because private schools have quite strict
Yeah.
like guidelines with
Dress
uniform
codes.
and haircuts and
Yeah.
facial hair and things like that, right?
Yeah. So, but Brownie's actions were, and I quote, in contravention of school policy and also inconsistent with community expectation in this day and age. So,
Okay.
in other words, you can't just go cutting kids' hair.
Which is true,
Which is true.
right?
Okay.
I feel
You
it.
guys agree?
I don't know.
No.
Like, if the student didn't care, I don't see why it's...
If you go to a school where they have that strict a dress code where the hair length is prescribed,
Yeah, which I did.
are you not... Would you be upset? Would you have been upset if that had happened? It's school photo day, so you kind of have to look like you fit in with the school's photos. Otherwise, you don't get a photo, right?
Chris cares a lot about his hair, though.
No, but in my experience at a school like that, they would send you home and say, see you later. Or actually,
No, but
there
it's
was...
photo day, so isn't he kind of like helping the kid out? Because
And-
how much trouble would you be in if you're a private school's kid's parent and your kid doesn't get a photo
Well,
in private school because
Keep your
they're like-
hair trimmed neatly, mate.
Yeah, no, but you're in the situation where it's the day of.
Yeah. Well, it's your parents' fault.
It's go time.
If they want photos, have nice hair.
Yeah, so he's helping them out.
He is. That is one point
He's
of view.
being a bro.
Another point of view is he was not acting appropriately, and that adults should not cut kids' hair without...
Why not?
I'm a bit on that side of like, it's kind of like manhandling a child. Like, imagine someone like grabbing your head and cutting your hair.
But
Did they
are
grab
we
his head?
imagining it
Is that the
happened like
accusation?
I don't.
There is a picture and like a... Anyway. This is
What if
what's
he's
happened.
like, come here, I have to cut your hair? And the kid just comes over because he doesn't care.
Hard to say.
Hard to say.
Yeah, if you're grabbing the kid's head in a kind of like forceful way, yes, that would be
Totally.
inappropriate. But the fact that the bit of it that's inappropriate is that you're grabbing his head.
Do we actually want to know the nature of it?
Unconfirmed. So, following this incident, as there has already been on this very podcast, there was widespread outrage. Many people reacted like you, Jono. Many people reacted like you, Ali.
A hubbub.
Like, oh no, it's all good. So heaps of parents and students were like, no, we love this guy. He's like Dumbledore. We gotta keep him around.
Is he like Dumbledore?
That's what they're saying. That's how it's described in all the headlines. Were like, Dumbledore-like figure expelled from school.
You know,
So
in
he
that
kept
case,
a lot of secrets.
yeah, and he's also
Ooh.
really unsafe. He keeps sending kids into really dangerous
Well,
And he has a
situations.
dead hand.
Well, So the students have been in protest. They've been refusing to wear their uniform, writing lots of letters and protesting.
Refusing to wear their uniform.
So they just show up in casual attire to school.
Right.
Oh.
I wonder how the kid who started all this feels.
Well, got a free haircut, so don't know.
And a free mufti, right?
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Was it his parents who complained? Is that what started it?
We
Or-
don't know. So people now are calling for the resignation of the actual principal, Michael Davies.
Yeah.
They want him to resign.
Right.
So why we're in the news this week, 2 giant mobile billboards, like trucks with billboards on the back, they pulled out the front of the school, and they've been sitting there, and they're saying, it's time to go, Michael Davies, you stuffed up, we don't want you here.
It doesn't say it like that, though.
No, I can read you what it actually says.
What, somebody actually paid to get billboards?
Yeah, that makes me not care about this story. Who
Somebody
has this much money
paid
to waste
to
Probably
get
private
billboards.
school parents,
Probably.
right?
Yeah.
And you know what the billboards were not? This was the confusing part.
Okay.
The billboards were not directly in protest of anything to do with the haircut.
Oh, what?
The billboards were talking about I'm using air quotes, podcast listeners, offensive contribution he made to the school magazine in 2014. So, in 2014, in the school paper, he wrote a contribution saying something like this: Men of Trinity, all in possession of a good fortune, a Trinity education, should heed the opening words of Jane Austen in Pride and Prejudice. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. And this was offensive to LGBTQ members of school society.
What does it mean?
I'm not sure. It's a very confusing quote.
What are they saying?
I
What
think
is going on in this story?
They're saying that he said, you young men should want a wife.
the head.
That's what the headmaster.
Okay.
He used the quote that implied that.
He used a quote from Jane Austen.
Yes.
So he's a homophobe.
Yes. Now you're keeping up with us.
That
Yeah,
must
I'm
have been
not.
why you kicked out Dumbledore, because Dumbledore's gay, right?
That's true. It's all coming together. So then the other billboard, it was like a screen, so it like phased in. It's time to go. Our school community is far too progressive and inclusive for your 18th century values.
That's what it said.
Yeah, alongside that quote that I read before.
But it's Jane Austen.
Yeah, well, maybe Jane Austen was a homophobe.
Well, she technically wasn't politically correct with what she was writing.
Well, now by now standards, are we applying our standards now today? But I don't.
Well,
I
they
just
are.
don't get it. Like heaps of Shakespeare stuff would be rude.
Very rude.
You can't get someone in education in trouble for quoting Jane Austen.
Yeah, I think they've been holding on to this hurt for
Isn't-
4 years.
Isn't this just
Understand.
isn't this just classic white bored people at high school? They're
Yes.
just finding something to
Just
be
need to
angry
be
about?
upset.
That has been...
I say that because that's literally what I did for all of my high school, is
It's-
just find stupid things to care about
It's
and
the
be an idiot.
it's the fundamental human need to have a struggle,
Mm,
right?
that
is
is
that evidence that their lives is too easy.
it's a popular reaction on Twitter, etc. People say, "Oh, these poor, rich private school white people. We need to go and bring them food hampers and make donations." But
They're clearly suffering.
Donations.
Don't laugh, Ali. We'll get in trouble
Yeah.
in the comments.
Oh, no.
Someone will say we're not treating this with the sensitivity that it
It's
deserves.
true.
The tone police.
Poor students. Anyway, so what do you think? Does this Michael Davies? Did he make the wrong call?
I think they all just watched 3 billboards out of Ebbing, Missouri, and just got inspired.
That
right?
was one of the headlines in one of the articles.
You've convinced me not to care.
Good. That was my aim. It's
That's
really,
the
You
only
had
thing
me-
I'm sure about is I don't care.
What's more interesting that's happening this week in weirdness?
Have you heard of a little country called Kosovo?
I did
I
this
have
week.
not.
What about
No.
Kosovo?
Yeah.
Yes,
okay,
I have.
yep. So I had to look this up on a map, guys. It's next to Serbia, Albania, Montenegro,
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
like
There was a
Yes.
big war there.
Eastern Europe.
Yes, there was.
Yeah.
Seen the movie Behind Enemy Lines?
Yes.
Oh,
Owen Wilson?
That's a great.
It's during
I
that war.
haven't.
Wow.
Yeah.
94.
So-
America got involved.
What is happening in?
In
Not
Kosovo.
good, not good times.
Kosovo.
You did not mean that. Or at least We don't endorse that.
in Kosovian
Co-
Kosovo
I'm actually not
Kosovlaki
sure.
Kosovo
It's not
What did
I
Slovakia.
think
What are you
Kosovian
trying to
would probably.
say?
Kosovian Parliament, the government, they were in session and they were trying to pass this bill, this thing called the Border Demarcation Agreement
Yeah.
with their neighbours, Montenegro.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so they signed it. They've been working on it for 3 years. They signed it back in 2015. It's just to settle some borderline arrangements because Kosovo is like in flux, kind of. It's like still figuring
Yeah,
itself
it's really
That
confusing
whole
borders.
area
They're all the
is-
former Yugoslav republics, and
Right.
Yugoslavia was like one really big country, and it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
split into lots of little countries.
So
But they have had a lot of wars.
But they're figuring it out.
Yeah.
So they've been trying to set some borders and figure it out with Montenegro. And so Parliament voted 80 to 11 to pass this thing. But some people were not happy. These guys, the Self-Determination Party,
Yeah.
they were upset
Seen here,
As seen
casually
here,
throwing
that
tear gas
to try and
across the aisle.
to stop the vote. They set off some tear gas in Parliament and chucked it around the room. So everyone got a little weepy and had to leave, unfortunately.
Everyone
It's not
looks
even
like
that. It makes you like choke, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's
I feel
not
like
good.
everyone's just casually walking out.
it's not the first time it's happened.
Okay.
So they were like,
I was
"Oh,
watching it this
is
morning.
again."
I'm like,
It's like the fire alarm at work when it just doesn't affect you anymore.
oh, true.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you've seen the person who did it. Like you watch them go over to the fire alarm, press it, and you know you have to get up and leave.
Oh, so it's
That's
the
what
same.
this
It's the
was.
same couple of guys every time.
Pretty much, yeah. I think it's
So this
They're
is just
upset
their
about
normal
stuff.
thing to do.
well because they're the opposition, so they don't have enough votes to stop it. Because some of the opposition MPs crossed over to give the government side the majority they needed to pass this legislation.
So instead, they just use tear gas.
Yeah,
And
part
make
of this
everyone leave.
legislation, the reason they're trying to pass it is the EU wants it to be passed so that they can allow Kosovans to have visa-free travel with the rest of EU. So a lot of those countries, even though they're not part of the EU, still get visa-free travel between EU countries.
Mm.
And this was kind of like a prerequisite.
But this party, they had big disagreements because their theory is that they're losing like 8,000 hectares of
Yeah,
Kosovan land,
I
which
guess they
has
don't
not
like
been
where-
proven.
They don't like where the line is, but obviously the government doesn't agree, and apparently international experts don't agree either. I'm not sure who those people are, though.
Yeah, so it's pretty...
Should get Owen Wilson onto it.
Wow. Get in there behind those enemy lines. So I thought what the US ambassador said for Kosovo said was pretty funny. He said he's pretty obsessed with saying Kosovo, which is weird. He said, "This should not be happening in Kosovo. Kosovo is better than this. This should not be happening in a European country. Tear gas is not a European thing."
That's not true. That's not true at all.
gotta be
Isn't that weird?
That's got to be a lost in translation thing.
He's
It's the
he's
US.
American.
It's the US
Oh.
ambassador.
Oh, well, then what's he thinking?
That's strange.
I don't know, but tear gas is not a
Do you
European thing.
think he's not been in Europe that long?
I don't know.
I think he's talking aspirationally.
Yeah. We're gonna.
He's
yeah.
talking to the
Yes,
country he
let's say
wants,
that.
not the country he has.
We're moving beyond tear gas
Yeah.
as a continent.
As a way of not stopping democracy from happening.
Yes. Should have brawls. Like the
Seems so
good old
weird.
days.
It seems
Could you
like
imagine
such
if
a-
that happened in the Australian Parliament?
I can
no.
imagine
No.
a
I
redhead
can't.
wearing a burqa and ripping it off.
Although Richard Di Natale,
Didn't
He
he
could.
not get voted back in?
no, that was one.
No,
that
that
was
was-
the Green candidate. It wasn't a vote. They thought they could win that seat.
Right, gotcha.
They thought they had a chance.
Anyway, so that's some weird stuff that's been happening this week.
Mm.
Haircuts and tear gas.
Pretty random.
Pretty random.
It's very
Nice
random.
random, you know.